एक दूसरे से जुड़ी हमारी दुनिया में अचानक से आई एक चुनौती के कारण जहां सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग जारी थी, वहीं हमारे लिए इससे लड़ रहे फ्रंट वॉरियर्स के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर चलने की बारी थी। दुनिया भर के लोगों को अपने घरों में बंद रहने की हिदायत थी, पर हमारे पास लोगों को उनके घरों तक हिफाजत से पहुंचाने की तैयारी थी। लोगों के लिए हाथ धोने की सलाह थी, पर हमारे पास उससे पहले एक बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी थी जिससे हम हाथ नहीं धो सकते थे। जिन देशों में लोग बाहर निकलने से भी कतरा रहे थे, हमने उन देशों के भीतर जाकर अपनों को वतन वापस लाने की और दूसरे मुल्क के लोगों को भी उनके देश पहुंचाने की ठान रखी थी। दुनिया भर के रास्ते बंद हो रहे थे, जमीन के भी, आसमान के भी, पर मुसीबत के बादलों के बीच भी हमारी उड़ान जारी थी। यूं तो हम अपनी हर उड़ान, हर सफर को खुशनुमा बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं, पर इस बार हमारे यात्रियों के चेहरों पर एक अलग ही राहत की मुस्कान और हाथों में सुकून के बोर्डिंग पास थे। ये सब मुमकिन हो पाया सिर्फ आपके साहस, जुनून और जज्बे के दम पर। एयर इंडिया एक बार फिर से देश के प्रति अपना फर्ज निभा पाया, आपके हौसले और भरोसे के दम पर। हमें और पूरे देश को फक्र है आप सब पर।
हमें आप पर गर्व है।
हमें आप पे गर्व है।
हमें आप सब पर गर्व है।
और इस जंग में आपके साथ हर कदम पर खड़ा है पूरा एयर इंडिया परिवार, आपकी सेहत, सुरक्षा और हर सहयोग के लिए। विश्व स्तरीय पीपीई किट्स, हैजमैट सूट्स और हर जरूरी मेडिकल सुविधाओं के साथ अपने देश और देशवासियों के लिए चुनौतियों के आसमान में उड़ान भरने के लिए हम हमेशा तैयार रहे हैं और आगे भी रहेंगे। और यही हमारा जोश, जज्बा और वादा है।
A salute to my colleagues who have put national interest above personal affairs and have displayed exemplary bravery.
इस महामारी के दौरान देश को आपकी जरूरत है, लेकिन इस बात का ख्याल रखें कि किसी भी मेडिकल इमरजेंसी के दौरान आपका मेडिकल डिपार्टमेंट आपके साथ 24 घंटे कार्यरत है।
अपनी और अपने परिवार की चिंता छोड़ यात्रियों की सेवा में समर्पित हमारा हर कैबिन कर्मी सेवा की अतुलनीय मिसाल।
दिल में इंडिया, आसमान में एयर इंडिया के जज्बे को आप सभी ने साकार किया है।
जय हिंद।
जय हिंद। जय हिंद।
Everybody, and welcome. Good morning to those of you in the Bay Area and good evening to those of you dialing in from India. My name is BJ Arun. I am a trustee of TIE, the Indus Entrepreneurs. I also represent the San Francisco-Bangalore sister city, and I am also from Bangalore. So it's actually a very, very special day for me. As you can see from my background, these are my two hometowns, Bangalore and San Francisco. And it's absolutely a delight that we are able to launch our flight today. And in fact, this is something that we as TIE had initiated way back in 2015 when Prime Minister Modi had visited the Bay Area. And we were hoping that the first nonstop between San Francisco and Bangalore would start then, the Silicon Valley with the Silicon Plateau. But we did, I guess, get the San Francisco-Delhi nonstop at that point. But absolutely delighted that we have this new flight today. So again, absolutely would like to extend a warm welcome to everybody. And I'd like to kick off this program with a short message from the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Dr. Ashwath Narayan, CN.
Namaskar. I welcome the starting of the non-stop flights between San Francisco to Bangalore. It's a very good initiative. Or the operation of flights between these two silicon cities will make a huge impact in the entire ecosystem of the business, particularly in ITPT, in ITS services, and in the emerging areas probably the connect between the two cities is the need of the hour which has happened. I welcome this initiative, and this will facilitate in a very big way. The impact can be felt and it will make a huge difference. And I thank Air India for taking up this initiative. Namaste.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister. At this point, I'd like to invite on to speak our Honorable Consul General of India in San Francisco, Dr. T.V. Nagendra Prasad. Dr. Prasad is a 1993 batch IFS officer. He was previously our ambassador in Turkmenistan and also joint secretary in New Delhi, overlooking all of our relationships with the entire Gulf region. Dr. Prasad also has a Bangalore connection. He has served as our regional passport office in Bengaluru, and he's actually a champion of our community here, and he's been very, very helpful to all of us ever since he got posted here last year. So welcome, Dr. Prasad. A few words from you, please.
Good morning and namaskar to everyone. First of all, wish you all a very happy new year. We all hope to resume our normal lives this year after whatever we had the pre-pandemic. Thank you, Air India, Thai Silicon Valley, and Board of San Francisco-Bangalore Sister City Initiative for coming together to celebrate this very special launch of first direct flight service between the Silicon cities of India and the US. The occasion also marks a fitting commemoration of the sister city relationship between Bengaluru and San Francisco. There has been a great demand for direct flight between Bengaluru and San Francisco for obvious reasons. I would like to place on record the appreciation for Air India that despite the serious challenges the aviation industry has been facing this year, last year, they have initiated this non-stop flight service between Bengaluru and San Francisco. It's a way of befitting tribute to Silicon Valley's, to the entire tech community who have ensured that we remain virtually connected while the COVID crisis has disrupted every possible aspect of direct human interaction. But some things can't go without direct human interaction. That is how you see so many people flying even during the pandemic to India. Air India also deserves a special appreciation for their stellar role in Vande Bharat mission. It is into 9th phase now. Air India continues to fly thousands of people every day. So far, they have flown nearly 4.5 million passengers since the announcement of Vande Bharat mission on May 6, 2020. From San Francisco alone, over 34,000 passengers have been flown by Air India. We have flights on almost every day of the week. That of course includes services offered by United Airlines under the air bubble agreement between the two countries. Consulate is proud to play its role alongside Air India to ensure the safety return of Indians stranded on the West Coast under Vande Bharat mission. Today's flight, I heard, and then it is everywhere in the media, as Mr. Arun was mentioning, is special in many other ways. It's the longest and flown by women pilots. I think they are here with us today. Also, Zoya, Akanksha, and Nivedita will be, I think, they have taken care of the safety aspects, etc. They will be flying across Atlantic via North Pole as well. It's very heartening to know that on the very first flight, Air India is achieving so many milestones. Congratulations to Captain Zoya Agarwal and her team. All the very best. I'm sure this direct flight will be very attractive to entire West Coast. Today's event also marks a commemoration of San Francisco-Bangalore Sister City Initiative, which was signed in the year 2009. It's natural that the two Silicon Valleys formally establish a partnership agreement when people across the two cities, businesses across the two cities have been interacting so much over the years. I thank the co-chairs, Madhav, Mishra, and Jim, and the entire board of Sister City Initiative, Mr. Kumar, Malavalli, BJ, Arun, Mark Chandler, Nandini Tandon, who are also going to be speakers, for their contribution in strengthening this bond between Bengaluru and San Francisco. We have miles to go. Our efforts should continue to forge much closer ties in the expanding the technological arena on this side. And not only that, but also we are bringing people to people contacts more stronger. The consulate is always in support of any efforts by any entity in this direction. Finally, let me thank Thai Silicon Valley and the Air India, the manager here, Anju, Sahani, Mr. BJ, Arun, who has really taken a lead to organize these event and then to celebrate this particular special flight. And I hope that the particular connection is not the it is the first, but not only the first. Many more flights are going to come up in the future because of a very vibrant connection between the two countries and then two cities. Once again, my best wishes, and then I wish the team of Air India all the best for a safe and then very pleasant flight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable CG. At this point, I'd like to invite the station manager of Air India in San Francisco, Ms. Anju Sahai. Anju?
Thank you, Arun. Air India is really excited at the commencement of the first non-stop flight from San Francisco to Bangalore on the 9th of Jan. Air India has been operating non-stop flights from San Francisco to Delhi since December 2015. And with AI 176 to Bangalore, we will be linking San Francisco to another gateway in India, which is going to be providing the passengers traveling, another outlet to passengers traveling to southern India. This flight will help us to connect the two Silicon Valleys and cement the existing sister city relationship that we share. While this will be the longest flight on Air India's network with flying time of 17 hours and 45 minutes, it will reduce the travel time for the passengers flying to Bangalore. So this will be definitely beneficial for our passengers flying from San Francisco to Bangalore. The first flight on 9th Jan will be operated by all-women cockpit crew, and Captain Zoya Agarwal will be the commander of the flight. Air India Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Rajiv Bansal, envisioned the commencement of the new flights, and our Commercial Director, Ms. Meenakshi Malik, she has planned meticulously for the new operations. All the departments across Air India's network work together to put this historic route on the world map. I would like to acknowledge the support of Mr. Ivor Satrio, Airport Director, San Francisco, to accommodate our additional flights. While the constraints on the travel due to the current pandemic situation that is there, still it continues to exist, the new flights will definitely ease the travel to southern India and will be beneficial to the corporate travels as who have the offices in both the sister cities by making their travel safe and comfortable. I would like to express my gratitude to the Consul General of India, Mr. Nagendra Prasad ji, for his cooperation during the Vande Bharat mission flights from San Francisco. Last but not the least, I would like to thank you, Mr. BJ Arun and his team at Thai Silicon Valley for their efforts in providing logistics to host the event and to make it a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjuji, and congratulations to you. At this point, we listen to a little message that Ms. Meenakshi Malik, Commercial Director of Air India, has provided us with.
San Francisco was linked and put on the Air India web network in December 2015. This, at that time, was the longest flight in the world. I would like to say a special thanks to few people who were part of this grand journey. One of my officers, Mr. Sandeep Roy Chaudhary, stepped in for a month and opened the station followed by Officer Mr. Naveen Chabra, who immediately took over the reins and started working from San Francisco Airport. Thank you, Mr. Naveen Chabra. We started this flight for 3 flights a week, which became 6 flights due to your very hard efforts at the airport and at San Francisco. And again, in a few months, it became 9 frequencies a week. This was supported by the San Francisco director, airport director, Mr. Ivar Santrio. Thank you so much, Mr. Ivar, for your support. And a very special thanks to Mr. Ed Barnes from SFO Tech. He was always there to give us the required slots for adding new frequencies, additional frequencies between Delhi and San Francisco. Thank you so much. Among the Americans who helped us at San Francisco Airport, there is one American with a pure Indian heart. Mr. Devan Verma, I keep on saying by mistake, Mr. Devan Kumar. Devan is from Prime Flights. He has supported Air India like a true Air Indian. I sometimes feel he's more Air Indian than most of us. Thank you so much, Devan, for your support.
At this point, if you could have a message from Mr. Nandan Nilekani. Nandan, again, needs no introduction. He was co-founder of Infosys and a former CEO of Infosys, as well as the former chairman of the UIDAI, which is, he was really the brain behind the Aadhaar card, which has revolutionized identity in India. So if you could have Nandan's message, please.
I'm delighted to hear that Air India is launching a non-stop flight from Bangalore to San Francisco and again from San Francisco to Bangalore. This is really a wonderful step that Air India is taking. It is a coincidence, but 20 years back in 2001, Bangalore got its first international flight. And in the last 20 years, Bangalore has become a booming place for international flights and also has a world-class airport. Now, with this non-stop Air India flight, a 16-hour flight on the latest Boeing 777 and designed to start in San Francisco and land in Bangalore at a good time, and similarly from here to San Francisco, I think this will be a big boost to business and travel between these two great technology centers. So I wish Air India all the best on this wonderful occasion.
Yeah, thank you, Nandan. It's really kind of you to have taken the time to done this. All of these people, it's past midnight in India, so unfortunately they couldn't join us live, but they were kind enough to send us messages. So should we now move to the next video? And this would be from Air India, the Himmat Se Yari video, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar.
थमने लग जाती हैं राहें जहां, थमने लग जाती हैं राहें जहां, वहां से शुरू की हमने अपनी बारी है। तिरंगे के तीनों रंग से रंगे हैं हम भी, और हिम्मत, हिम्मत से तो हमारी पुरानी यारी है। दुनिया की इस किताब में कुछ किस्से हमने भी लिखे हैं, जोश की स्याही से नए पैगाम हमने भी लिखे हैं। खतरों से लड़ने की हर बार करी पूरी तैयारी है। अपनों को दूर देश से अपनों के पास हम लाए हैं, और हिम्मत, हिम्मत से तो हमारी पुरानी यारी है।
We are doing an evacuation flight under the Vande Bharat mission.
सुबह शाम सूरज की किरणें जिस ओर पड़ती हैं, जिस छोर से बहती नदी जिस ओर निकलती है, उस ओर तक उड़ने की कोशिश की हमने हर बारी है। पंख फैलाए सुरक्षित उड़ते हम जाएं, पंख फैलाए सुरक्षित उड़ते हम जाएं। और हिम्मत, हिम्मत से तो हमारी पुरानी यारी है।
Proud Indians and proud Air Indians, and we are very happy to transport all Indians back to India.
We thank the Indian Consulate as well as the Italian government for letting us take this humanitarian cause.
I would just like to thank the staff at Air India for helping facilitate this evacuation flight. It means a lot to many Indians who are on the aeroplane.
Big thanks to Government of India, Government of Bangladesh, Indian High Commission. I would like to thank entire fraternity of Air India for ensuring a flawless process of evacuation. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
हौसलों की हर घड़ी का चलता समय है हम, हौसलों की हर घड़ी का चलता समय है हम, हर पहर की रोशनी है साथ आपके हम। आसमान मैदान हमारा, खेली हर बार एक नई पारी है। जज्बात और जज्बे लिए हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, और हिम्मत, हिम्मत से तो हमारी पुरानी यारी है।
तेरी माटी से मैं हूं बना, तेरे पानी से मैं सींचा गया, मेरी नस नस बहे तू वतन, मेरी नस नस कहे वतन, मेरा सारा तुझ पे वारा, मेरी नस नस बहे तू वतन, मेरी नस नस कहे वतन, मेरा सारा तुझ पे वारा।
We are indeed honored to fly this priceless mission under these challenging circumstances, bringing back you all, our people, back to our motherland. Jai Hind.
At this point, I'd like to invite the director in the San Francisco Mayor's Office, Mr. Mark Chandler, to say a few words. Mark?
Thank you, BJ, and good morning to all. On behalf of our mayor, Ms. London Breed, she sends her greetings to Consul General, to all who are on this video this morning, to our friends in Bangalore and Karnataka, and we are celebrating a great day for the city of San Francisco. We are so happy that Air India today is inaugurating special service, special new non-stop flight between San Francisco and our sister city of Bangalore. We would like to thank all who have worked so hard to make this dream come to reality. Thank you to Thai, thank you to our sister city committee, thank you to the consulate, thank you to all at Air India, thank you to the many people who are making this dream again a reality. When then Mayor Gavin Newsom, who is now our governor of California, signed the sister city agreement with the chief minister of Karnataka, we understood that our city and our region and Bangalore and Karnataka had so much in common and had so many strong ties that it was natural for us to be sisters. And today we're recognizing that a direct tie is more important than ever. So on behalf of the city of San Francisco, on behalf of the mayor, London Breed, again, we thank all. We salute the captain and her crew who will be making this 17-hour flight today, and congratulate you for that accomplishment also. And we just want to say that San Francisco is so proud to be Bangalore's sister city and is so proud to have Air India launching this nonstop service. And I'm happy to report that tonight, January 9th, our city hall in San Francisco will be lit up with the colors of Air India in recognition of this great event. So thank you again and congratulations to all.
Thank you so much, Mark, and thank you for the support that your office always extends our organizations. At this point, I'd like to invite the co-chair of the San Francisco-Bangalore sister city, Madhav Mishra. Madhav?
Thank you, Arun. Just to echo, good morning, everybody. Just to echo Mark's words, when Mayor Gavin Newsom asked Jim Herlihy and myself to initiate the sister city and co-chair it, he had really two objectives, he told us. One was to underline San Francisco's global preeminence as the center of technology, IT, and biotechnology by linking it with the most prestigious Silicon Valley of India. And then the second objective was to continue to strengthen people-to-people ties between the citizens of two of the most dynamic regions of the world through all the tools of soft power and relationship building. And nothing is quite clear and very obvious, but nothing is more, facilitates more the realization of these objectives than the direct flight. And my experience in a few previous flights non-stop to India, just by chance, my passenger next to me included the head of Adobe India, the CFO of the Gates Foundation, a venture capitalist, and a senior Google executive. And without exception, you know, over these 16 hours or whatever, you talk a lot, and one realization came through clearly, that this direct link makes them think of travel to India from the United States almost the same way as they think about commuting from the East Coast to the West Coast of San Francisco, of the United States. So, and then these executives, it was a game changer for them psychologically and physically. And then these executives were all moving on to Bangalore or coming from Bangalore. So this direct flight cuts several hours more from their journey. And so I'd like to really congratulate Air India for this wonderful flight that will, without doubt, allow families to see each other more often and greatly encourage and facilitate commerce and investment between the two regions. Congratulations.
Thank you, Madhav. At this point, I'd like to invite the other co-chair of the San Francisco-Bangalore sister city, Jim Herlihy. Jim?
Morning. Thank you, Arun, and Happy New Year and greetings from San Francisco, California. It's a particularly auspicious day for Air India launching this non-stop flight to Bangalore into San Francisco. When Gavin Newsom created the sister city relationship in 2009, we took him on his first trip to India, and he assures me that as governor today, he looks forward to making a return journey as governor, and who knows thereafter. The sister city relationship is part of the global Sister City International organization based in Washington, D.C., which was created by President Eisenhower. Our mandate is to foster business, investment, cultural, educational links between San Francisco and Bangalore. And we have been working for 12 years to establish this direct, non-stop link between the two cities. I myself have done the trip via London, I've done it via Hong Kong, I've done it via Dubai, and looking forward very much to saving the additional 4 hours by going non-stop. And finally, in conclusion, I especially want to note today that to have an all-woman crew as on the inaugural flight guiding this historic flight across the North Pole between San Francisco and Bangalore is especially heartening and very much in line with San Francisco and California's values. Thank you, Air India. Thank you, Consul General Prasad. And thank you, Arun.
Thank you, Jim. At this point, I'd like to invite the Airport Director of San Francisco, Mr. Ivar Satero. Ivar?
Good morning all. It's wonderful to be with you this morning. This is certainly a momentous occasion, and we're just so excited about the launch of this new flight and how important this flight is to both of our regions. And thank you for sharing the Humanitarian video. That was quite powerful and shows how important Air India has been to the Indian people. And that was a really wonderful, powerful video. And thanks for sharing that. We're very excited. We look at the success of the Delhi flight that started in 2015 and how that went from 3 flights a week up to 14 flights a week. And we have similar high hopes for this connection to Bangalore. And we think about how important it is connecting these 2 tech sectors in the world, a global reach to these amazing communities that help drive innovation and help all of our countries prosper. And we see that this will add so much value, and we can see that by the bookings that are already happening with these flights, it will be highly popular, both for the business community as well as for our residents to be able to return home and spend time with families, as well as to visit the wonders of the San Francisco Bay Area. So we're so appreciative of the partnership. Anju, you've been a wonderful partner for us, and we look forward to great success with this flight. Congratulations to Air India, and thanks so much for your continued support and partnership.
Thank you, Ivar. At this point, if you could please have a recorded message from Mrs. Kiran Majumdar-Shaw, founder and chairperson of Biocon. Kiran speaking to us from Bangalore.
Hi, I'm Kiran Majumdar-Shaw. I would like to congratulate Air India for starting the much-awaited non-stop San Francisco-Bengaluru San Francisco sector, starting their inaugural service from San Francisco to Bengaluru on 9th of January this year. Amidst the gloom of the COVID-19 pandemic, this is indeed really good news to cheer us with. I look forward to using this service, and I'm sure the entire software sector of Bengaluru will greatly benefit from this service. Many congratulations and happy landings.
Thank you, Kiran. If you could also now have a message from Mr. Rishad Premji. Rishad is the chairman of Wipro. Rishad.
Hi, I wanted to take this opportunity to share how excited and delighted I am about the starting of our first inaugural flight by Air India between Bangalore and San Francisco. This is a great opportunity to connect 2 critical cities in the future of technology and bring us that much closer together. And this is a great start, and I'm looking forward to more flights and looking forward to trying to take this soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishad. At this point, I'd like to invite Mr. Kumar Malavalli. Kumar is a Silicon Valley entrepreneur and a good friend, and he also serves on the San Francisco-Bangalore Sister City Committee. So Kumar, a few words from you, please.
Thank you, Consul General. Thank you, Air India, for arranging this great event. And first of all, I would like to congratulate Air India on 2 fronts. One, first of all, for launching the historic flight between San Francisco and Bangalore. Secondly, I would like to congratulate Air India for creating the non-stop flight with the entirely women crew to fly over the North Pole. We're taking the longest route in the world, air route in the world. So I really congratulate for having made this happen. And if you look at historically, long time ago, more than 5 or 6 years ago, the San Francisco-Bangalore Sister City Initiative, which I am part of, along with Madhav, Mishra, and Jim Herlihy, and we had lobbied to have this flight launched 4 or 5 years ago. But at that time, the San Francisco-Delhi flight took the precedence. But I'm so heartening to know that finally our dream came true, that this flight is taking place between San Francisco and Bangalore right now. And this is very useful, and also it's going to bring both the Silicon Valleys of the world, Silicon Valley of California and Silicon Valley of Bangalore together, particularly right now with the direct flight. And also it is very it's going to remove all the hassle for the passengers, both business and the visitors, to go through all the encumbrances that are associated with the intermediate transfer. So really appreciate that. Once again, I really congratulate Air India for finally deciding to launch this flight as of today. And thank you, Arun. Thank you, Consul General, once again, for making this event happen. Thank you once again. We wish you all Happy New Year to you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Kumar. At this point, I'd like to invite another legendary Silicon Valley entrepreneur and a fellow Thai Charter member, Mr. BV Jagadeesh. BV?
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Arun, very much for organizing this. Really appreciate. Congratulations, Air India. This is a wonderful, wonderful milestone that Air India is gifting to all the people who commute between San Francisco and Bangalore and San Francisco on a regular basis. And it's also a wonderful thing to see how women are taking such a major role in flying the North Pole, as Kumar was just mentioning. Such a proud moment for all of us. And you know, when Air India announced this flight, the non-stop flight from San Francisco to Bangalore a couple months ago, I was just reflecting on the fact that for those of us who have been commuting from San Francisco to Bangalore during the 80s, it used to take literally about 44 hours. I mean, I still remember my first flight when I went from San Francisco to Bangalore, San Francisco to Honolulu, Honolulu to Hong Kong, Hong Kong to Singapore, Singapore to Chennai or Madras, and then to Bangalore. It used to take about 44 hours. And now that's compressed to almost like 16 and a half, 17 hours. I have to say it's a phenomenal gift to all the business people as well as many of the residents. I mean, personally myself, coming from Bangalore, like me, there are thousands of people who live in Silicon Valley who go to Bangalore on a regular basis. And it's such a wonderful thing. And we've been, my wife and I, we've been already traveling on Air India via Delhi to go to Bangalore. And it's such a pleasure to actually ride that. And we look forward to taking this first flight from our perspective, whenever that happens, to Bangalore, perhaps maybe in the next few months or so. So would like to wish you Air India all the best, and congratulations once again to Air India and the entire staff for making this happen. Thank you, Arun.
Thank you, BV. At this point, I'd also like to invite another serial entrepreneur from the Valley, Mano Murthy. Mano, in addition to being an entrepreneur, he also is a very, very successful and prominent music director for composer and director for Kannada movies. So he's won the President's Award, etc. So Mano, if you could share a few words, please.
Yeah, hi everybody. Hi Arun, and Happy New Year to everybody. You know, being a Bangalorean, myself, I'm very proud to see this happen, because like, BV Jagadeesh was saying, if you think about it, 20 years ago, there wasn't even an international flight, going into or out of Bangalore. And in 20 years, we've come to a point where we have a direct flight going. And I'm really proud of that. And I want to thank Air India for doing this. I think this was a much needed, long needed route. And it makes a lot of sense. And I think a lot of people are going to be using it. I myself am looking forward to being on this flight soon. Once the virus allows us to do that. And congratulations to Air India, and have a nice flight, everybody. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mano. At this point, I do want to start inviting the stars of today, which is the crew of Air India. I'd like to start by inviting Captain Nivedita Bhasin. Captain Bhasin is the flight safety director on this flight. And so I'd like to have us hear from Captain Bhasin and have a few words from her, please.
Hi, thank you, Arun, and good morning to everybody. I'm delighted to be here representing Air India today as the Director of Flight Safety. And on behalf of our CMD, Mr. Rajiv Bansal, our Director of Operations, Captain Sandhu, Director Commercial, Ms. Malik, and all my colleagues at Air India, I'm here to reassure you that the flight that we start today will be absolutely safe. In addition to saving fuel, time, carbon emissions, our endeavor is to mitigate all the risks involved. And we've already done many years of research, of risk analysis, training of the pilots. And we're happy to announce today that all our endeavors have reached this conclusion today that we are in a position to fly over the poles. So the first thing is, of course, safety. Second is regulations. And I'm glad to inform you that FAA, our local DGCA, and the Russian authorities have given us all the permissions to overfly the countries that will be flying today on this route. And we have safety concerns of retrieval. So the first concern that comes to a mind of a passenger is in case of a diversion, what happens? So our first point is that expeditious retrieval of passengers and crew. You know, this was a privilege only for a few some years back and even a few months back. But now Air India has kept an aircraft standby. At any point, if we divert on the route, within a few hours, Air India will send their aircraft from any part of the world, closest part, and help retrieve our passengers and crew. So that is a big reassurance. The next concern is, of course, you know, when you fly over the poles, the radiation, the magnetic radiation, the solar radiation, and the radio blackout impacts. So we are going to be monitoring space weather. Of course, we couldn't reach the moon. This was only for astronauts earlier, but we as pilots are privileged to be able to monitor the space weather. And we're going to take a call up to 6 hours before departure to check the cosmic levels of radiation. If they're above a certain level, then we will not be flying that route and we'll be changing the route. And we'll fly a little southerly route so that the radiations are within the safety standards. After this, of course, we have a choice. You know, today we have a choice open. The roads are so close to India from the US. We have a choice to fly over the Atlantic, over the Pacific, and also over the poles. Singapore and airports in India are the furthest from the US, but with the polar routes, we are happy to say that, you know, we can fly within 17 to 18 hours direct from any part of the US to any part of India. And the engines, the reliability of engines is improving day by day. So that gives us a lot of reassurance that even with 2 engines, earlier everybody thought that if we had 4 engines, then we would be safe. But the reliability of flying on 2 engines is so good now that we are confident of flying. We have en route airports available, which are keeping a lookout for us. Our staff in the flight dispatch, they're keeping a flight tracking. Our doctors are on call with us, and our dispatch can get us a phone patch with them any minute of the flight. So if there's a medical contingency, they will come up and they will help us. And of course, with fuel savings and time savings, we save carbon emissions. And this results in reducing the impact of carbon emissions, whereby we are going to be leaving behind a greener planet. Our competitors, on the other hand, in this COVID environment, they were reducing their flights and postponing their direct flights. But we at Air India have taken this initiative in this COVID time to introduce this new route. And this is indeed a big feather in our cap today that we'll be able to go over the poles. We have a cross-polar working group, and there are only 19 airlines which are flying over the pole. And India will be becoming one of them today after we complete our flight, and we'll be in the select few. And as you all know, that there are very few flights over the Pacific, so it's going to be surely lonely at the top when we fly, but nevertheless, we'll report from the top of the world. And thank you for giving us this opportunity of being here today. Thanks, Arun.
Thank you, Captain Basin. And in fact, I can already see that some of my colleagues, who actually own private jets, are having second thoughts about whether they should switch to Air India and not trade in their aircraft. So I can see that on their faces already. But thank you. At this point, I'd like to invite the commander of today's AI 176, Captain Zoya Agarwal. Captain Agarwal, we'd like to hear from you, please.
I'm not getting the video.
Would you like me to? Oh, yeah, there we go.
Very good morning, Arun. It's been a very interesting and insightful session so far. All the other honorable guests, thanks for having me here. And a very special thanks to the Honorable Consul General, Mr. Mark Chandler, and everybody else for the kind wishes and the words for all of us operating the flight today. We are awaiting to see San Francisco's airport lit up in our colors today in the evening. God willing, today is the day we, our country, Air India, we all make history. Out of the 7.5 billion people, while most of them may not even be able to see the North Pole on the globe or on the map in their lifetime, I would like to express my gratitude to the Indian government, Prime Minister Modi ji, Minister of Civil Aviation, our CMD, Director of Operations, the entire higher Air India management to make this long-standing vision of Modi ji of connecting the two Silicon Valleys from San Francisco to Bengaluru, which is also combined with the remarkable feat of the polar operations, an amazing reality from merely a dream. Today, we're going to accomplish that. I'm privileged and humbled to be a part of this amazing dream turning into reality and the trust being instilled in me by giving this Bharat Ki Beti a golden opportunity to represent our flag carrier, Air India. Especially in today's world of COVID-19, this is bringing in the silver lining to the dark cloud, which is very, very much needed and the need of the hour. We all are frontline workers and we take great pride in representing our airline and above all, putting the best foot forward for our country and for facilitating our citizens all across the Mother Earth. I'm honored to commandeer the Boeing 777 inaugural SFO Bangalore flight, which is located diametrically opposite both the city pairs. One of the world's longest flight to fly over the North Pole is extremely technical and it requires a lot of skill and experience, which all of us, our crew members, combined with Captain Nivedita Basin, have. To fly over the North Pole is very technical. It has many requirements which need to be ticked off. For example, we have to have polar suits on board, etc. And it has many benefits vis-a-vis the normal traditional routes over the Atlantic and over the Pacific, not only which saves time, which translates into millions of dollars saving fuel. And also, like Captain Basin mentioned, it reduces the carbon footprints tremendously, which also means a greener planet for our future generations to come. Air India has always been an equal opportunity employer, and I'm extremely proud to be a part of this stellar organization. I'm happy to have with me a very highly skill set today of Women Dream Team, combining of Captain Tanmay Papagiri, Captain Akanksha Sunavane, and Captain Shivani Manhas, with our brilliant station manager, Ms. Anju, supporting it from the ground up. And all the other dedicated women working behind the scenes. We are going to be the first all-women dream team flying over the pole. God willing, we will create history in many ways. This is indeed a dream come true for any professional pilot, hereby setting an example to the millions of girls who are watching this, who are getting inspired by this, who face challenges on a day-to-day basis, the societal pressures to believe in themselves and to read, I am possible. It's not impossible. For those of you who understand Hindi, I would like to end this with a small shade on women empowerment. Beti boss kabhi maa bankar, sabki sukh dukh ko sehkar, apne sare farz nibhati hai, tabhi to nari kehlati hai. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Captain Zoya Agarwal. I mean, you have literally today, you and your complete crew have inspired over 500 million Indian women. So thank you and hats off to you. I would like to at this point invite Captain Akanksha Sonawala. And Captain Akanksha is your first officer. So I'd like to hear from Captain Sonawane, please.
Okay, my video. Okay. Hi, Arun. Thank you for having me here. And my colleague, Captain Zoya Agarwal, has pretty much covered everything. I don't think I need to say much. But I would just, we all are very excited and exhilarated to be a part of the 16,000-kilometer odyssey from the Silicon Valley, San Francisco, to the IT hub, which is the Silicon City, Bengaluru. Also, its history, it's making that Air India's achieved carrying out the second longest flight in the world, flying over the North Pole. And I'm humbled and honored to be a part of this historic event. And I think this has only been possible due to the synergy between the civil aviation, my seniors, my colleagues at Air India, and of course, also my fellow sisters in the cockpit. And together we have made it possible for every aviator's dream. And thank you very much for everything, and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Captain Sonawane, and wish you, Godspeed and all the best for your flight. Yeah, like to see a community video that some members of our community have put together about this flight. So if, Vrishali, and by the way, I do want to also put in a plug and shout out for Vrishali Malpekar from the Thai office. She has spent countless hours helping with the logistics and putting all of this together. So thank you, Vrishali, and let's see the community video, please.
This is Shantaram Gumaraju, President of Tri-Valley Kannada Sangha. I would like to wish you all the best. Congratulations for Air India and Consulate General of India for introducing non-stop services from San Francisco to Bangalore. We are so excited, thrilled. Now airport hogi Bangalore non-stop flight nodidaga, Bangalore San Francisco non-stop flight nodidaga, we will feel so happy. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
I am Pradeep Naditota, Kannada Kota, Northern California, Board of Trustees Chairman. Thank you Air India for starting direct services from San Francisco to Bangalore. ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಸಿಲಿಕಾನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಗೂ ಹಾಗೂ ಭಾರತದ ಸಿಲಿಕಾನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಗೂ ನಡುವೆ ನೇರ ಸಂಪರ್ಕ ಕಲ್ಪಿಸುವುದಲ್ಲದೆ ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಸೇತುವಾಗಲಿ ಎಂಬುದೇ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಆಶಯ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನಾನು ಅಶ್ವಿನಿ ಬಿಕೆ.
ನಾನು ವಿಠಲ ಪುತ್ತೂರು.
ಹೊಸ ಮನ್ವಂತರವನ್ನ ಸಾಧಿಸಿದ ಏರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಏರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕೇಳುವಾಗಲೇ ಹಿತವಾದ ಹಿಗ್ಗು ಅಭಿಮಾನ ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಕ್ಕಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಹೆಸರೇ ಅನಿರ್ವಚನೀಯ ಆನಂದವನ್ನ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ವೃತ್ತಿಗೆ, ಪ್ರವೃತ್ತಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಉಪವೃತ್ತಿಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಅಮೆರಿಕವನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಡಂತಹ ನಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ತಾಯ್ನೆಲದ ಸಖ್ಯವನ್ನ ಸದಾ ಒದಗಿಸಿಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಏರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇದೀಗ ಹೊಸ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೂ ಪುಳಕಗೊಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ, ವಯಸ್ಸಾದವರಿಗೆ, ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇರೋರಿಗೆ, ಲಗೇಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಸುಖದ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ. ಮಧ್ಯ ಮಧ್ಯ ಇಳಿಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಏರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ.
ಹಾಯ್, ಮೈ ನೇಮ್ ಇಸ್ ರವಿ ಪಾಂಗಾಲ್. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈವ್ಯಾಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಂಘ ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗ್ಲಾಡ್ ದಟ್ ಏರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಹೋಮ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರು, ಮಚ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸರ್ ಟು SFO. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ 16 hours away. Thanks Air India, wish you the best and we wholeheartedly extend our support at all times. Thank you.
നമസ്കാരം, എൻ്റെ പേര് മഞ്ജുനാഥ്. സ്വദേശം കേരളമാണ്, ബാംഗ്ലൂർ എൻ്റെ സെക്കൻഡ് ഹോം. അപ്പോൾ എയർ ഇന്ത്യയുടെ ഇനിഷ്യേറ്റീവിൽ സാൻ ഫ്രാൻസിസ്കോ ബാംഗ്ലൂർ പുതിയ ഫ്ലൈറ്റ് തുടങ്ങുന്നത് അറിഞ്ഞതിൽ വളരെ സന്തോഷമുണ്ട്. കാരണം ട്രാവൽ ടൈം 22 മണിക്കൂറിൽ നിന്ന് 16 മണിക്കൂറായി കുറഞ്ഞു കിട്ടുന്നത് വളരെ ഒരു സന്തോഷകരമായ ഒരു അനുഭവം തന്നെയാണ്. താങ്ക് യു ടീം.
ഹായ്, വണക്കം. This is Karthik from Santa Clara, California. I'll be so happy if Air India starts non-stop flight from SFO to Bangalore. So இதனால கண்டிப்பா டைம் சேவ் ஆகும் and more comfortable-ஆவும் இருக்கும் journey. Down south போறவங்களுக்கு ரொம்பவே ஈஸியாகவும் இருக்கும். So once again I thank Air India and Consulate General of India for making this comfortable journey for the Bay Area community. Thank you.
ಏನು SFO ನಿಂದ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಲೈಟಾ? ವಾವ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಖುಷಿ ಪಡೋ ವಿಚಾರ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ದಿನದಿಂದ ಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಾಗ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಲಾಸ್ಗಾಗ್ಲಿ ಬರೋವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಥ ತೊಂದರೆನೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ನಾನಂತೂ ಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಪ್ಪ ಫ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಟು ಏರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ.
Namaste, this is Raghu Halur from Bengaluru Voice. On behalf of the entire Bengaluru Voice team, hearty congratulations to Air India on its new direct flight between San Francisco and Namma Bengaluru. This is indeed a marvelous feat, and this is going to further strengthen the cohesive bonding between the two sister cities, Bengaluru and San Francisco. Thank you, Air India, and all the very best.
Hello, this is Paul. Congratulations to the Air India team for launching direct flight from San Francisco to Bangalore. And जी आई नो बहुत ही अच्छा स्टेप है. थ्रू डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट सानू सैन फ्रांसिस्को टू बैंगलोर मिलेगी. ग्रेट अचीवमेंट and congratulations Air India for achieving this. Thank you.
Hi, this is Raghu and my daughter.
We're so excited for a direct flight from SFO to Bangalore.
అమెరికా నుంచి బెంగళూరుకి డైరెక్ట్ ఫ్లైట్ ఉన్నందుకు చాలా ఆనందంగా ఉంది. నో ట్రాన్సిషన్స్, నో మల్టిపుల్ ఫ్లైట్స్, నో లేఓవర్, సేఫ్ అండ్ సెక్యూర్ ఈ పాండమిక్ టైంలో ఐఎమ్ వెరీ హ్యాపీ ఫర్ ఇట్.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಉಮೇಶ್ ಸತ್ಯನಾರಾಯಣ. ನಾನು ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕ್ಯಾಲಿಫೋರ್ನಿಯಾ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಸಂಘ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಪದಾಧಿಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ತುಂಬ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ವಿಷಯ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಜನವರಿ 9ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ನಾನ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಫ್ಲೈಟು ಸ್ಯಾನ್ ಫ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಸ್ಕೋಯಿಂದ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ. ಹಾರ್ದಿಕ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು ಟು ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟು ದಿ ಏರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಕಂಗ್ರ್ಯಾಚುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್.
Hi, I'm Prakash Maram, IT Director at Stanford University. I congratulate Air India and San Francisco Indian Consulate for starting direct service from SFO to Bangalore. I like the way they are coming out with innovative logistics to meet NRI's requirements. I would expect that they come out with much more such direct services, especially to Hyderabad, which is another IT hub. Lastly, I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate SFO Indian Consulate for their immense service to Indian community. I personally experienced and heard many stories where they came out with open heart to help us without any delay to meet our consulate requirements. We thank Air India and Indian Consulate and extend our warm wishes. Thank you.
Hi all, this is Reshma from Bay Area and I have some great news to share with all of you guys. By Air India, we now have a direct flight from San Francisco Airport to Bangalore starting on January 9th. I'm super excited about this. Hope you guys are too.
Hello Air India. तुमचे बेंगलोरून SFOला फ्लाईट सुरू झाला म्हणून समजलं. फार बरं झालं, मला पण बरं वाटलं. आमच्यासारखे सिनियर सिटीजन डायरेक्टली आमच्या मुलांच्यापर्यंत केव्हाही पोहोचू शकतील. थँक्यू.
So Air India, I just want you to realize how much of joy and passion there is with the community. If you just think about how many hours all of these people have put together, even to make that little video, right? I mean, so many people had to do all of that stuff. And clearly we're just doing it, out of just excitement and support for our national airline. So congratulations to you guys again. Godspeed, as I mentioned. And at this point and by the way, I mean, it's too bad we are in this pandemic situation. Otherwise, all of us would have loved to have come there in person to get our selfies with you and post it on our social medias, but that'll have to wait for another flight. But at this point, I would like to invite Silicon Valley VC and entrepreneur, Dr.Nandini Tandon, to offer a vote of thanks. Nandini?
Thank you, BJ. What a pride and honor it is to pay special thanks on this very, very momentous milestone. Given the paucity of time, my profuse apologies that I cannot thank everybody on behalf of Thai, Air India, and the CG's office. But I would like to say a very special thanks to our very engaged, very supportive, Honorable Consul General Dr. Nagendra Prasad, who since he has come to San Francisco has brought magic, and we are already seeing the results. The Air India leadership and team for much needed direct connect. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, Anju. Huge 2 thumbs up to the all women's crew. We are so proud of you. A warmest welcome to all of you to San Francisco. San Francisco has been lit up and will be even more brilliant when you land. So Captain Zoya, Captain Nivedita, Captain Akansha, and all of you, a very, very warm welcome to all of you. And all participants from India and from Silicon Valley for making the time. A dear friend Kiran, Nandan, and all the others. And from our side, the co-chairs Jim Herlihy and Madhav Mishra. And from the governor's office, Mark Chandler, dear friend and board member Kumar Malavalli, and others. Fellow Thai member BJ Arun for his signature leadership. He has taken Thai to new heights as a former Global Thai board member. I can say that it is splendid to see what he has done. And lastly, I would like to thank the CG's office for all the tireless effort in pulling everything together. Not easy to fly digitally between US and India to make things happen. And on that note, I want to thank Mr. Rajesh Naik, who always makes sure he pulls us together. It's a privilege, honor, and a proud moment as a woman venture capitalist in Silicon Valley to know that we can fly to Bangalore directly. Thank you and a happy new year.
Thank you, Nandini. So we are actually at the hours limit that we had been allocated. And I know that the Air India crew and ground staff and all of these people have tons of work ahead of them to prepare for this fantastic long maiden flight, non-stop. The three captains that we have on this call, any last words from you? I'm going to leave that open to you guys. Anything else you'd like to add? Captain Zoya, Captain Akansha, or Nivedita?
I think we are looking forward for this flight to create the world record. God willing, all should go well, and we will have Air India and India on the global map, making history tonight. I'll just end it at that.
Great.
I think it's really heartwarming to hear such lovely messages. You don't realize sitting in a hotel environment what is happening outside, and just hearing all of you, hearing the spirit of the world, of the citizens of India, of Bangalore, and how much this means to them. I mean, this is the least that we've done, and I think our lives will be so much better by creating the world a smaller place, by bringing the hearts together. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you for everything and making it possible, and just wish us luck that we have a good flight to Bangalore, and that's it. Jai Hind.
No, we absolutely salute your efforts. Most of the time, unfortunately, what happens is only the complaints are the ones which get amplified and you hear about. But, just through the pandemic, right? I mean, just evacuating people, taking them back to their homeland, right? And putting yourselves at risk every single day that you do this, right? Most people are sitting in their bunkers, hunkering down in their homes. Day after day, you people are out there on the front lines. So you're absolutely our heroes, and we salute you. So have a safe flight, have a wonderful flight, and thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. With that, we'd like to wrap up today. Thank you, all the attendees as well.
Thank you.